Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871. Chiming in with our next episode. We're going to be talking about the inner workings of a rigged election today. We're also going to be talking about your Pavlovian education, how it's progressing, what's happening with the fake pandemic. We've already discussed how your mind is being handled, how it's being steered, how it's being, I'm trying not to use the word controlled, but that's what it is. How your mind's being controlled. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Uh let's see what Comrade Murphy has for us today.
General election will be held overwhelmingly through vote by mail. I will be signing an executive order later today on this decision. Additionally, our new online voter registration system will be up and running effective September 4th, giving new voters an added ability to ensure they get registered. All of us recognize the importance of this year's election. Ensuring that every voter has the ability to securely cast their ballot while protecting public health is our paramount concern. The recent primary election gave us the opportunity to see what worked and where we could make improvements to this kind of election. Here in New Jersey, we saw increased participation, the second highest state primary turnout in history, and that was behind a primary for the presidential election in 2008, which was still very competitive by the time it rolled into New Jersey. Results here and across our nation showed that making it easier to vote does not favor any one political party, but it does favor democracy. No.
Oh, Comrade Murphy. That was a Freudian slip, my friend. Now, in case you didn't catch that, in case you didn't catch that, what Governor Murphy just said was that the last primary that was held this year in July, he said that it reached epic numbers, huge turnout, second only to Obama's first election in 2008. Is that so? But you know, Obama didn't have mail-in voting only. Now, did he? What this means is that, let's see, I really don't know how to. I'm trying to be nice with my words, to be nice with my language. I don't want to sound insulting. I don't want to sound condescending. I'm sorry. I'm not really good at those things. I just simply call it what it is. CPT. This is a CPT election, a CPT rigged election. For those of you who are not up on the jargon, CPT stands for Colored People Time. That actually comes from the black community. It is self-criticism from the black community that black people are well documented of having, well, just piss poor punctuality, hence the term colored people time. I believe Secretary Clinton, she got into a bit of a kerfuffle for using the terminology when she is white, and I guess that's a no-no. But like I said, the criticism comes from the black community itself. Self-criticism, valid self-criticism, I would say, definitely. Obviously, that's not to say that every last single black person that's out there has piss poor punctuality. The point that I am making is that our deep state radical left faction here, they fully understand that there are enough black people out there who do have punctuality issues and are forever showing up late. As you watch this, I will link this down below. It's a 6-minute segment. You can watch the whole thing. As you watch it, keep CPT in mind. And as Murphy goes down his bullet point checklist, you're going to be like, because black people can't get off their ass and go vote. Now, also, what we learn in this in Murphy's bullet point is that he said expanded access. This is so important that we expand our access to voting. But you just said it yourself just now, that when black people want to, and other races who are progressive and were very anxious to see a black president, I voted for Obama, but I'm not oblivious to the fact that, the man, he won his election because there were a lot of just simply people out there who want to be part of history being made, so to speak. So, I don't know, sociologists can dig into if there was any kind of narcissism there because they want to be a part of it all and history being made. I don't know, whatever. But the point is that it's a valid criticism. Obama did not need to take physical voting machines out of circulation. Okay. But we don't have a black candidate, and even if we did, we've already had our first black president. I don't know, maybe the novelty has worn off. So now we have to do something, because that's what it's all about. Getting the ballot into you lazy black people's hands. What? I don't know. I gotta see what's on TV first. Oh my God, how early I gotta get up. Now, you might say how awful of me to say lazy black person, but in reality, the fact is that the deep state, they are acknowledging how lazy your ass is. And they're taking provisions for it. Yeah, you're a provisional ballot. That's the provisions that they're taking. They're taking into account to counteract just how many lazy urban black people that there are out there. This is, I don't know if this is really coming out right, because it would surprise you as to who CPT does affect. You got CPT affecting black doctors, black lawyers. So it's not just necessarily exclusively an urban black thing. It would just surprise you. Anyway, let's go back and get back to Murphy here. I think I wanted to go to 3. Yes.
To either return their ballot through a secure drop box, and we are expanding the number of the boxes, or to hand it directly to a poll worker at a polling place on election day. We are providing these additional means not only to make it even easier for voters to return their ballots, but because the onus at the U.S. Postal Service requires us to provide them. The Postal Service and its necessary funding is being turned into a political football by those who simply don't believe in expanding ballot access. We will not let these political issues dissent voters or suppress anyone's ability or right to vote. We will not stand.
Did you hear that? They will not stand by while people's right to vote is suppressed. And what's Governor Murphy going to do about it? He's going to take voting machines out of circulation. That's how he's going to combat voter suppression. You're going to combat voter suppression by taking voting machines out of circulation, out of service. This makes no sense. It's completely illogical. That is literally the opposite of expanding voter accessibility. Now, I want to talk about something here. Down into the text, down into our text before I get too carried away. Let's see if I can find it here. Okay. His provisions. Murphy signed 3 bills. I want you to pay attention to this stuff. One requires drop boxes for voters to deposit their mail-in ballots to be installed 45 days before the election. That would be September the 19th. The law requires that the boxes are available 24 hours a day and have a security camera. Well, I can tell you right now, as a person who's done a lot of loss prevention security, just because you have a camera trained on your iPod, MP3, Blu-ray players, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to catch the thief, okay? Just because there's a camera there doesn't mean that the box cannot be tampered with. Another bill requires Secretary of State who's in charge to create basically propaganda, something that's going to help condition your mind into accepting voting by mail. This is a deep state agenda. It's not just for this general election. Talking about a fake pandemic, we've already discussed it, where hundreds of thousands are allowed to gather, exercise their First Amendment right, which I do support. But if it's people going to work, earning a living, or simply coming together for a backyard barbecue, then mysteriously those events are always alleged to be the causes of hotspot breakouts. I can tell you right now, 2 weeks from now, after the March on Washington, nope, you won't hear one word about super spreader, hotspots, people getting sick. None of that. None of that at all. Third measure lets voters use confidential system to see whether their ballot was accepted. The measures also include I'm looking for a particular thing here. Trump campaign filed a lawsuit. Let me see here. Say outbreak. I invoke the outbreak as the reason for the change. So it's the reason for the change, but if it's the outbreak, then why was it safe for the March on Washington? I don't get it. Even in the face of the pandemic, we're firmly committed to ensuring a safe and inclusive general election. And of course, Murphy wants to accomplish this by taking voting machines out of service. The order, by and large, meant the general would proceed like the July primary. And again, I've already shown you that you can have an even larger turnout than the July primary by Murphy's own admission if simply you don't need mail-in voting to do this. To get a large turnout, you just simply need people willing to get off their ass and go do it. Okay? Our governor also mandated that poll workers accept Voters mail-in ballot in person at polling places. So if there are people there who can, if there are workers there that can accept these things, then why aren't there machines? You know, in July, provisional voting. Let's see. We see we've already gone over that. I wanted to talk about how Murphy legislation, presidential. Let's see, where is this thing? Usurp legislation undercuts cites the spread of coronavirus earlier months when he signed an executive order. Yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. Murphy had cited concerns over the spread of the coronavirus earlier this month when he signed an executive order requiring that every active registered voter be sent a ballot with a prepaid return envelope in time for General 3rd election. And let's see, I think maybe it might be part of his bullet points. We see must carry postmark by November the 3rd. Let's see if I can get this thing to go full screen. Nope. By November 3rd, ballots without postmarks received by, there was something down in his thing here where he was talking about will be valid, where it was Murphy had said, it was down below. I don't know if I just simply didn't miss it, if I didn't read it. Basically, because we see here where he says every ballot must be postmarked. But then you know, down below you say, you know what? They don't need a postmark. And that's what he had said down below in the text here. I'm looking for it where he said that he signed a law. Let's see, was it the signed law thing? Third measure. Lets voters use a confidential. It also calls for mail-in ballots. Aha! There we go. I know it wasn't crazy. Let's see. Also calls. There we are. It also calls for mailed-in ballots not to be rejected for physical defects involving the envelopes. The measures also includes so-called ballot curing. So actually, it's all this shit. It's all this crazy shit. Ballot curing provisions that say a county board of elections must notify voters within 24 hours if a ballot is rejected. Okay. What does this mean? I want you to think and follow along. I get my mail-in ballot, fill it out, send it in. They find something that's wrong with it, set it to the side, send me another ballot. This was wrong. Can you do it again and correct your mistake this time? All right. I do it out again 24 hours prior, but we've already read that due to errors, don't worry if you don't get it in by the deadline. We'll just simply call it a postal error. Okay, so again, a crutch for CPT. Okay, so did you follow along what I just said? How many votes did I just cast? Are you following along the shell game? So this is how voter fraud, this is how the election is going to be rigged. They'll be sending requests to Joe Biden voters, okay? Oh my goodness, we've got these voters here from Joe Biden that, well, there's something wrong with it, but why are you asking for a second vote for them to do it twice, for them to submit their ballot again when you've already got it on the books that whatever was wrong, it'll just simply be forgiven and the vote will be tendered. But yet here you are asking for the voter to fill out a second form and send it in again. Huh. This literally means that they now have on hand 2 votes for 1 voter. Did you follow along with what just happened? Please read this slowly because I'm trying to move quickly so that I don't eat up a bunch of time. But when you take your time and read it slowly, you're going to see, oh my God, this means that where whomever it is tallying these votes, and I suppose if I'm being fair here in my critical analysis, I suppose this fraud could be perpetrated for both sides, for both Trump and Biden. But nevertheless, it's a huge opportunity for voter fraud. Mr. Dunbar didn't, I don't know, tick this box, do whatever excuse you want to use, okay? We see Mr. Dunbar wanted to vote for Joe Biden. I don't. Wanted to vote for Joe Biden, but, well, maybe we need to ask him to do this again. We'll send out a form for him to do it again, let him know that there was a mistake, even though I just showed you that Murphy signed a bill saying that mistakes will be forgiven on ballots, but nevertheless, we're going to send you another ballot. Fill it out again and send it in. Don't worry about the postmark time. All will be forgiven. So there's all of this all will be forgiven type shit, and yet they're getting 2 votes per 1 voter. And then what if they say, oh, no. We'll destroy the ballot that we saw had issues. Oh. So you plan on shredding ballots that have issues. Like they didn't vote for the person you want to win, huh? Is that what's going to go to the shredder? Oh, see, this whole thing, it's going to be so fucked. Oh my God, this election. It's going to be so fucked. It's going to be rife with fraud and corruption. It is just wide open. And I'm telling you right now, they're already setting the stage where they can ask, here in New Jersey, they're setting the stage where they can ask voters to send in a second vote because allegedly something was wrong with their first vote, even though it says on the laws that Governor Murphy signed that if there are discrepancies with the envelope or something isn't quite right, we'll forgive that and we'll tender the vote anyway. Well, if you're going to forgive it and tender the vote, then why are you asking for a second vote? Well, we're going to destroy the 1 vote. Oh. So how do we know the votes that are being destroyed have been replaced by a second vote? Oh, Murphy. Oh, Murphy. This whole thing is going to fucking explode in your face. And just remember, when it's all said and done, Total Control told you so. Total Control 871. Do I want to go? I did have... Let me see what kind of time I got. 24. I think I got just enough time to go to my YouTube. I went through all the trouble of finding it, damn it. Because it's from a couple of days ago. I got it all queued up here, I hope. We're talking about where the fake pandemic was going. Because if you remember when I started this whole thing saying we're going to be talking about that. The deep state, I do believe that whatever their original agenda and goals were, I think they've scaled them back. Starting to anyway. This was a dry run. I think they've already known that this is going to be just a dry run, testing their psychological conditioning of you. How much resistance will we get? Trust me, channels like mine and many others that fought the fake pandemic, they're all being tabulated and taken into account as to what kind of resistance did we get as we try to bring in a new world order, a cashless system where we can control what you buy and when you can buy it. I do want to do a video. Has anybody been out there having difficulty ordering things? One moment it's in your cart, the next moment it's not. I've got a food stamp card on file with Walmart. Are people who shop with cash money being given priority over certain items than people who shop with food stamps? Are food stamp people being, sort of made to wait? Meaning, when you are shopping online, you don't know what's actually there in the store. Maybe the item is there, maybe it's not. Maybe the store, just because the store knows that you shop with food stamps, maybe they just simply want to wait and hold off and see if we can sell it to somebody who's using cash so that they can maximize their profits. I'll talk more about that later. All right, let's go to Melania Trump. I was quite surprised to see Big Pharma, NBC, actually say this, which definitely let me know that I think the deep state wants to wind this thing down. I think they're realizing that it's far too big of a monstrosity. In this episode, they also talked about the CDC's bombshell, which pissed off the deep state. If you're not sick, you don't got to get tested. What? Are you fucking crazy? That's how we keep our numbers inflated. That's our primary tool for fear mongering. Telling people that there are record numbers of new positive cases. And of course, I've already told you, these tests are testing for antibodies. I came into contact with COVID. My body made an antibody which fought it off, which is why I never got sick. You always hear about cases positive, but strangely enough, of the cases, just give me one day, NBC, CNN, okay? Give me just one day, okay? Of the cases that you're reporting positive today, how many got sick? Or give me some follow-ups from reporting 2 weeks ago. Whatever you were reporting 2 weeks ago, how many actually went to the hospital? Oh, that's right. The CDC very mysteriously took hospitalizations off of their website at the beginning of July. When the hospitals emptied out from all the flus, okay? Not deaths, but just simply discharged. Everybody got discharged in July, and you suddenly didn't have any more hospitalizations to scare people with, which is why you had to stick to cases positive and percentages. 100% increase in the state of California, which could only mean 20 people tested positive. None got sick. None went to the hospital. All right, let's get here because I keep talking, God damn it.
For spotlight on substance use and mental health.
Suicides are on the rise as people who are struggling with loneliness and addiction feel they have nowhere to turn. Parents, please talk to your children.
A survey conducted in June found 40%.
think it's, yeah, it's buffering. Come on, Melanias. Oh, please, come on.
Giovanni took her own views related to the pandemic. Of COVID, Melania Trump put a spotlight on substance use and mental health.
Suicides are on the rise as people who are struggling with loneliness and addiction feel they have nowhere to turn. Parents, please talk to your children.
A survey conducted in June found 40%.
Damn it. Why are you fucking with me?
Sophomore Giovanni Smith excelled at 25%. Younger.
I want to draw attention to the fact of look at our mask, the graphic that they chose to use. They created this graphic. Now, normally we're not used to seeing mask shown to us this way. This is discarded and in the dirt, and they're talking about percentages. So they want to use a big number of people who are committing suicide.
Your teens are struggling too.
She thrived on being active. She did.
Sophomore Giovanni Smith excelled at softball, basketball, and track. She played 3 instruments, but COVID shut all of that down, and she was stuck in the house.
She's literally by herself. I think it just put her in a place to be lonely.
Giovanni took her own life in April. Do you think your daughter would be gone right now if we didn't have a pandemic?
Absolutely not. The dynamic of life changed.
We're in a moment where we are all being affected in some way by the pandemic.
13% of adults reported starting or in.
There we go again. Here's our mask. Our discarded. The graphic is dark and muted. They are psychologically conditioning you here. They've been psychologically conditioning you to take on these masks, and whether you are aware or not, but the type of color scheme that they're using in the graphic, they're now subliminally, that's a hell of a word to say, it doesn't roll off the tongue, but they are definitely communicating to you, to your subconscious, that now's the time to come away from mask. Mask will soon be ending. That's right. Social distancing will soon be ending. Start thinking about the downside of social distancing. Start thinking of mask as something to be discarded. You see what I'm saying? It's how they control your mind, how you're being mentally conditioned. I am sorry. I'm not trying to be nasty by, I'm not trying to call you a dog, but it is Pavlov's dog training. That's what it is. They took annual deaths. People die by the millions in America alone every year. They took annual deaths and they just dressed them up like a sideshow carny. Hurry, step right up. And there you were with cash in hand to buy the ticket. So, let's see. I don't know if, let's see. They also talked about, in this particular episode, yes, the 17-year-old arrest. Let's see if we can get some.
Late today, 3 days after an officer shot Blake multiple times in the back, Wisconsin's Attorney General identified the officer as Rustin Shesky, who's been with the department for 7 years. Authorities say officers unsuccessfully tried to arrest and taser Blake after a woman called about her boyfriend being on the premises when he wasn't supposed to be.
During the investigation following the initial incident, Mr. Blake admitted that he had a knife in his possession, and DCI agents, that's the Division of Criminal Investigation, recovered a knife from the driver's side floorboard of Mr. Blake's vehicle.
No charges have been filed and no comment since the news conference from Blake's attorney, but the investigation is ongoing. For Blake's uncle, answers can come soon.
Closer to home for the president and reality, like the overtures.
And that is because
I was looking for, this has gotten long, hasn't it? What's my time? Yeah, this has gotten long. The protester, the First and Second Amendment auditor, self-appointed guardian. I don't know if I want to call him a vigilante. Vigilantes take it upon themselves to police a community. They go they go looking for trouble that might not necessarily be there to enact their own particular version of justice. During the protest, there was no mistaking that there was rioting and looting and destruction of property going on. Therefore, that's why I say I'm a little hesitant. I'm a little hesitant to call the guy. I did have some hauls. I need another one. I'm hesitant to call him a vigilante. He made some very stupid, unwise decisions. Walking around with guns, I would not have, walking around with those, it's the whole purpose. I get it. There are a lot of people who are rioting and they're looting and they're destroying and they're using the protest as an excuse to do it. Dude, I would not have gone down there with guns. He had a med kit. 17 years old. I believe he was in a state, though. It was a couple of hours across state lines, and I don't know if he was aware or not, but in the state that he was in, 17-year-olds are not allowed to open carry. However, saying all that, there was absolutely no question whatsoever in my mind that this young man was attacked. This young man could have very well indeed have been killed or severely injured. Again, you are welcome to have your discussions about, did he put himself in that predicament? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. He does have a Second Amendment right to carry. Again, you can discuss the particulars of it. How wise was it for him to be there during that kind of climate? These are all discussions that you can have. But this young man was definitely being attacked. A mob was very quickly swooping in on him. You could have a discussion about how stupid was the mob. Do you really want to swarm somebody with an assault rifle? How stupid was that? So, stupidity abounds. It was in no short supply. So, what can I tell you? All right, that's it. Murphy's going to rig the election. He's already setting the stage for 2 votes for 1 voter. I got 2 voters, but the voter's just the same. 2 ballots, but the voter is the same. Let me tell you about the first vote. It's for Joe Biden. Let me tell you about the second vote. It's also for Joe Biden. I got 2 ballots and the voter's just the same. Murphy, I hope you're ready for the shitstorm coming your way. Total Control 871.